Hello guys. Earlier on I did talk about developing a slideshow with an embedded calculator, and now I'm about to start the development of this embedded slideshow with a calculator. So I'm going to now go into the development environment. But if you want to know more about developing a slideshow, I already published one on YouTube. That's C# slideshow tutorial. Okay, so you will see how this slideshow was developed. But right now I'm just going to embed a calculator into it. So let's go into development environment now. Back in development environment, so I would now stretch out my form. Now create some let's create maybe I should add a group box. I'll be my group box. Within this group box I would then insert my buttons, but let me just change the background of this group box. Let's change the background color to something a little bit darker. Maybe that might be too dark, but yeah, why not? I'm gonna leave it that way, so that's fine. Okay, the next thing is I will now get my label on board right there. Now change the property of this label. Okay, and auto size, make that false. Come on. Back color white. White. Okay, the next thing is sort of like set that to 0 and make that middle right, and maybe change the font size to about 14. Font size to about 14. Okay, yeah, 14 is fine. There. And next thing is I will now have to create approximately 16 buttons. So let me create those 16 buttons and I'll get back to you. Now guys, the 16 buttons are now created. That's for my calculator, but there's one thing I'd like to point out. Look at the size of the form. That is 5 by 334. Take note of that. So that's the size of both projects, including the calculator and the slideshow. Now with the slideshow alone, let's take note of the size. That is 256 by 334. Okay, so what I will do next is I will now embed a menu. I will add a menu to my screen. There we go, guys. That's my menu right there. I suppose you can all see that. So right here, I'll call that file, and then underneath will be calculator, and there is slideshow, then and that will be calculator and slideshow and show. So that's both system together. So which means if this is selected, that will be just calculator alone, and if this is selected, slideshow, and if this is selected, both calculator and slideshow, maybe this should go, or this should go, or this is both and this should go. Okay, I'll take that off. I'll take this one in the middle off. Just move this one out there, and this we have to go. Okay, that's fine. And here that become exit. Good. So the first line of code will be, if this calculator menu is selected, okay, then we have to change the width to 5.6 there. And for the calculator and eyes slide, that will be width equals 535. Okay, so now I know the width and the height. You can also enter the height if you want, because that's the height. The height has always been constant, which is 334. Okay, you can just copy the same thing across if you want to, and that's the height right there. So let's build the system and see what will happen. Now the system is ready to be debugged, so click on start debug. Okay, file, click on file, calculator and iShow. That's what you get. Okay, you can see it, or maybe I should change it to iShow and calculator, but that's it. The calculator has not been programmed right now, so nothing is happening. So let's go back to calculator. That's what we get. So I think I need to change the name around calculator, and if you know what I mean. So this should be iShow, and this should be just iShow and calculator, or iShow and calculator. So let me just change the name around and reprogram it, then I'll get back to you guys. Okay guys, this is how it looks now. iShow and calculator, then iShow. So if I run the program, and this is what you guys will see. If I click on file, select iShow, you see the calculator, iShow and calculator. That's what you see. But for now, this is not working. So if I click on iShow, that's what you get. Okay, you can see that, which means you can combine both. Okay, but this is not working yet. So let's go back into development environment and get the code, for the calculator working. The exit button is not working as well, so exit button, that's no problem. Just go in and start programming. This very object is called label 1, so maybe change the name to maybe LBL display. Good, done. I'll just leave this one the way they are. So LBL display, just copy that code. Now we now need to declare some variables. So the first variable I'm going to declare would be double eye selection. I have used this variable in my C++, so you guys should be used to it by now. Double eye selection, and that's double eye selection 1. The next one is double eye selection 2, followed by double eye selection, just change that to eye output, and finally char operation, maybe operator there. So now I have my 4 variables in place. If you look at this eye slide, that's the previous variable used for my slide tutorial. I suppose you guys have had a look at the slideshow tutorial. That's where I use this variable. Now I'm combining slide tutorial and calculator together. Okay, so most of the coding will be for the calculator. All I just need to do is double click on button 1. I am now in button 1, so all I just need to do is say if label 1 LBL design display dot text equals 1 equals 0, enter my curly bracket, then display self, display equals 1, else display equals display plus 1 right there. So remember, you have to enter your semicolon right here. Okay, that's the first one. So what that means is if I click on that, 1 will appear. If you want to see how that works, let's rebuild. So we finish debugging. All we have is 4 errors, and those 4 errors is got to do with the variables because they've not been used. So if I now decide to compile and run, I can just enter 111, but I cannot enter 222 because 222 is not programmed yet, or neither is any of the rest buttons programmed. So let's go back into the development environment. Now double click on button 2. That's the button 2 right there. All I'm just going to do is copy all of this. Let's copy it all the way here. Change here to 2. And I'm going to repeat the same thing just for the rest of the buttons. Using exactly the same code as number 1 right here. You can see number 2, number 3. The only thing changed, as you guys can see, are just the button numbers. So what will happen is, let me run this program right now, or just start debugging. I still have my errors showing. Let me show you the errors. Sorry, they're not errors, they're just warnings because I've not started using my variables, but that's my program right there. I can just select any of these numbers. You can see that they're showing as expected. I've also programmed the clear button. Can you see that? So it's now working as expected, apart from the arithmetic operation functions that are not working yet, and the equal sign. So let's go into the development environment, get that sorted as well. So it's right here, that's the code to clear the display. Alright, so the next thing is the equals sign. For the equals, maybe I should just let me do the plus sign before the equals sign. Plus sign, now say I operator equals, let's convert that, convert to int 32. I'm going to select 32. You can select 64 if you want. Then I'll say I display dot text. Okay, what I've just said in there is whatever content inside the text box should be converted into an integer and assigned to I selection 1. So in that case, I selection 1 okay, but it has to be in a quote. Okay guys, so that's it there. So that's the first operator use. The first operator used is plus, and I've also used this variable and the following variable as well. So I might as well just copy this. Let's copy it, come here and double click on this, double click on the minus, paste that and change the operator right here to minus. Then for subtraction, double click on the next one, which is multiplication, and repeat exactly the same thing. But remember, you must enter the same sign, minus sign, or else there will be error. Double click on division, repeat exactly the same thing. Get rid of the division, enter the division sign, and now double click on the equal sign and enter the following lines of code. With the equal sign, I will say I selection 2 equals convert dot int 32 lbl dot display equals text. Enter that, and I will now say, let me switch using my switch statement. Operator this seems to be case sensitive, so I must enter capital letter. Okay, that's correct. I operator, then I have to change the others. This should be capital letter as well. Okay, all is fine now. I enter my curly bracket, and now in this case I'll say case plus sign, open a bracket, open a curly bracket, equals I output, which is right here, that's it, equals I selection 1 plus I selection 2 So what I've just said there is if this is equals to I selection 1 plus I selection 2, then the result should go into LBL display dot text. So what goes into LBL display will be the output, which is right there, and that's it right here. Enter a semicolon, then you end this with a break. So that's the first line of code for my calculation. Okay, all I just need to do now is copy and paste, and that'll be the end of the code. So let's copy and paste. Copy this, sorry, up to here, copy, this should be one here, yeah, this is it. Copy this and just paste, change this to minus, and this as well, subtract, repeat exactly the same thing for multiplication. But remember the sign, this is the sign of multiplication. This sign here is just for people who don't understand this sign as the sign of multiplication. So the next is division. Okay, and that's it, guys. My calculator is completed. All I just need to do now is debug. Plenty errors, so let me just sort that out. That's no problem, and I'll get back to you guys. Double click on that. Okay, as you can see, there's a spelling error. Look at that. Let's go up there and see my variable. That's my variable right there. I might as well just copy that. Copy and come back here and get that sorted. That's my variable. Paste the right variable there. And I will repeat exactly the same thing for the rest variables. So what is left is just system systems dot convert the string but this has to be in capital letter. Okay then. So this has to be repeated for the others down here. So at form load, this is what I expect the width to be. Width equals 256. That's at form load. So debug. So now the program is working as expected. Yep, and that's correct. So let's close that and run the program so that you guys can see run the program. There we go, guys. You can see it is working as expected. The first thing you see is the slideshow. You work on your slideshow. If you want, you can then click on the calculator. You see? That's how you create a slideshow plus. Okay, I would call this a slideshow plus. I'm not going to call it calculator plus because the slideshow was before the calculator. So that's it, guys. So I'm just going to leave you with this. If you want, I can always send you the code because I'm going to copy the code and now save it in my shared drive as usual. If you want a copy of the code, just let me know. Or if you want to know how this slideshow was created, you can always see that in my YouTube page or in my YouTube channel. I already have a tutorial for this C# slideshow. I'm going to call it a day now. So goodbye, guys, and you all have a nice day now. I will leave you with a bit of calculation. That is correct. You have a nice day.